Good morning to all the beautiful people who are here with me. I got a message that's for me, and so if I know it's for me, I know someone else at least needs to hear it. At least one other person. It's time for a detox, man. It's time for a detox. You know, maybe you spent a lot of time just chasing cheap dopamine, scrolling a lot. Maybe you find yourself falling back into old habits that just give you a lot of quick and easy dopamine, right? And you're just so used to doing it, right? You don't even realize it. But it's time for a detox, man. It's time to step back and really appreciate life for what it is, whatever it is that you might need to detox from. So I know I do. I found myself scrolling way too much recently, like way more than usual, and it's I definitely noticed its effects, especially on my sleep. It is very harmful to my sleep. And while I still get myself out there, I'm still trying to get some sun, doing things that I want to do throughout my day, I still find myself just very easily falling back into those old habits, right? And it's time for a detox. I don't necessarily believe that going cold turkey is gonna be the best option unless you can, but just definitely slowing down on what it is that you've been consuming. Step into a creator energy, not into the consumer energy, right? Maybe no matter what it is that you've been consuming way too much, let's take a step back. Take a step back and understand what it is that is maybe controlling or affecting your life to the degree that it is. Man, I remember it used to be a lot worse for me personally. Just this idea of chasing cheap dopamine, right? Because that was all that I would do, and I wasn't even aware of it, right? I was constantly scrolling, or I was constantly playing games, or constantly just doing things that just like that, just constantly snap, right? And when I first started my journey in September, I cut back on that a lot. I cut back on being on my phone nearly as much, and just really sitting within myself. And while obviously I didn't cut things completely, because that wasn't realistic for me. To me, I didn't cut things completely. I definitely noticed a higher quality of my well-being, just because I was more active, and the dopamine that I was choosing, I was choosing long-term rewards, right? Such as working out, or doing certain goals that I had, increasing my flexibility, right? And just reading different books, actually sitting down and reading different books, or doing different activities that that I would see more reward in long term if I keep doing it, right? And so that's what I kept doing, right? And it was definitely a high quality in what it is that I was doing. Maybe you already know what it is that you need to do, but you're not doing it, or you're not able to. Maybe you just don't feel like it, or maybe you don't know how to start. And I'm here to tell you, no one knows how to start, right? You just kind of have to do it, right? No one knows how to start, right? You might have an idea, you might spend a lot of time thinking of, okay, what is it that you actually want to do, or how is it that you're going to go about it, or maybe you're waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The perfect time was yesterday. The best time is now, right? Just got to start, And I take back what I said about no one knows how to start. I think you already do know how it is to start. Your inner being knows. You just gotta listen to that voice, and actually choose to do the things that make you feel better, or that give you fulfillment, right? And part of that could be a detox from social media, right? I know that I've cleansed myself a lot more from social media. I stopped being on certain apps. Maybe a detox from certain people, certain ways of thinking, right? Like actually sitting with yourself and understanding, like, why is it that you feel certain ways, right? You know, detox, like if you have an unhealthy habit, like maybe if you drink a lot, maybe if you are smoking a lot, right? And you find that it's affecting your health, you know, just, I think you already know what it is that you need to do. It's just a matter of actually doing it and like having the courage to continue to do it, right? Because that's another thing, you know. We're humans. We all go through different stages, right? We have energies of, like, we have periods of high energy, and then sometimes we fall back into periods of low energy. I know I do. I've fallen into periods of low energy multiple times already on this journey, but I never stay in those periods because I come back to myself. I'm like, okay, what is it that I need to do, or what is it that I can do, right? And right now, like, I'm like, speaking of that, I'm going back into like this period of higher energy because I am choosing to be aware of the habits that are affecting my health to the degree that they are, right? So that's why I think I need a detox, especially because of my sleep quality. My sleep quality has gone down a little bit, staying up too much, just playing games. But it's okay, it's still okay to have these periods of low energy. It's just a matter of recognizing it. Excuse me. Just a matter of recognizing it and then coming back to your equilibrium, whatever it might be, or coming back into that slope of going back up, doing things that make you feel better, doing things that are helpful for you long term, whatever goals you might have, actually sticking to them, and it could be something as small, or like it could be like a daily goal. Like maybe there's certain things that, like, maybe you don't get quality sleep, that could be something, just setting time to actually get the proper sleep that you need. Or maybe instead of like drinking one day, you choose not to, or you drink a little less. Or if you smoke, you smoke a little less. Or if there's a project that you need to work on, actually putting time and energy into doing that project, whatever it is, right? Just putting time into it, right? Instead of chasing the easy dopamine. Because a lot of systems in our society are made to keep us trapped. They're made to keep us reliant or addicted to technology, right? Because that's what they want. They want us to constantly be on our phones. They don't want us to connect with other people in a meaningful way. They don't want us to do better for ourselves. That's why you find out a lot of people tend to be unhealthy, right? To a big degree. They don't want us to be happy, for real. That's why a lot of algorithms they prey on people's unhappiness, right? People's beliefs that they've had instilled in them as children, and then they just constantly push narratives that fit their already existing beliefs, right? Which in turn makes them even more unhappy, right? These systems are designed in a way to keep us stuck. But we, as humans, we have the power. We have the ability to recognize these things. We have the ability to acknowledge and to change how it is that they affect us. We can be the change it is that we want to be, not only for ourselves, but for other people, right? I know plenty of people who constantly, just get sucked into different cycles, especially cycles of cheap dopamine. I still have friends that are stuck, but, I can lead by example, right? But I have to be an example first. And part of that for me is detoxing, just doing different things that I need to do, that I want to do, to go back into that energy of higher being. Because I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. If you have the ability to recognize that you can change and the ability to execute it, it doesn't matter what may happen, you will never stay in a period of low energy. That just can't happen, because you have the ability to recognize that things can change. You can change. And so it doesn't matter what life throws at you, right? It doesn't matter how hard life might get temporarily, you will never stay in such a low period of energy, because you have the ability to change, right? And not a lot of people can say that. Not a lot of people can say that. There was a point in time where I didn't believe that I could. I didn't believe I could in a meaningful way, right? And then, I started sitting with myself. I started acknowledging, things that were holding me back, limiting beliefs specifically, limiting beliefs, habits that I've built through my childhood as a survival mechanism or as a defense mechanism. Habits, limiting belief, and building new habits on top, right? Finding myself, something that I didn't even know I could do. And then now, I have a change of environment, which I'm blessed to have. I'm very blessed to have a change in environment, because not a lot of people can have that, right? To the degree that I have. And just continuing to do the work, not only for my future, but just for those around me as well. Being the best version of myself, so I can constantly show up for other people in my life. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. How you doing, sir? It's a challenge, but the best things are never easy. The best things are never easy. That's why real dopamine comes in the form of long-term reward, something that we've lost due to very quick, easy dopamine through social media and other vices. But yeah, that's what I got. I'm this walk, I kind of just spewed out a bunch of stuff. I hope it makes sense. I hope someone needed to hear that. I hope someone's able to recognize that they have the ability to change. It is all within you. You have the ability to change. And yeah, that's what I got today. If you're seeing this, I love you. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, detoxing is not bad, but you have to recognize what it is that's holding you back and then act on those changes. Have a good one.